Good evening, everyone. I want to join our members in welcoming Mrs. Thomas to the governing board. The Littleton District already has 100 days under its belt and is working towards completing its second 100. As we turn into 2014, we're not only heading into more challenging benchmarks, but annual testing, competitions, and celebrations. State legislature session kicked off yesterday and was highlighted by the governor's speech. We anticipate her budget to include some inflation funding and a new performance funding model that includes credit for student-by-student test score growth, with the average boost being somewhere between $10 and $60 on top of the $4,100 per student in operating funds we already get. Representative Carter will drop a bill in the House proposing to increase 200-day funding from 5 to 8%, and a coalition of superintendents will be asking another representative to drop a bill for a more complicated 200-day calendar grant program that would significantly help schools trying to extend their calendars. Already, many are saying there should be no new spending when the state already brings in less than it spends. So lawmakers this year will be forced to add basic state aids to school after the Arizona Supreme Court ruled that legislators acted illegally in ignoring voter-approved mandate to fund for inflation. Don Peters, one of the attorneys helping, filed a successful lawsuit, is asking the trial judge to now order the state to reset the state aid figure, what it would have been had lawmakers complied with the inflation adjustment all along. Peters said that it would provide an immediate cash infusion to schools, and if he can convince a judge to say the state should make good on all the money schools should have gotten in the interim, then that could be as much as $1 billion. The legislature will not approve any of this spending, so it looks like it'll be entirely up to the courts to resolve this matter, and we don't expect that to happen anytime soon. There will be more demands for general fund dollars. The Board of Regents has requested over $100 million for universities to help catch up on their cuts, and there's pressure to stop the practice of raiding the Highway User Revenue Fund. And as most of you know, the governor proposed an overhaul of Child Protective Services that'll certainly require some infusion of new spending. While we're not optimistic about any increased expenditure authority in the district, we're also not faced with the specter of continued cuts that we've had to navigate through the recession. We have agreed to host a community tour to help meet the goals of the district and support our efforts with the Communications Committee. We have tentatively set the date for February 19th. The committee is hoping to host 30 to 40 people that are realtors, Chamber of Commerce members, mayors, city staff, council members, business leaders, and the media. The committee members and students will serve as ambassadors. In addition to highlighting schools and programs in the district, we'll point out the economic impact of public education and its importance in the West Valley. We want to make sure people know our 6 guiding principles: every student a learner, a safe and orderly environment, families as partners, compassionate, dedicated, and caring staff, a meaningfully involved community, and a highly effective organization, as well as having them be aware that we offer full-day kindergarten for free, 20 more days of learning than most other schools, 21st century technology in our classrooms, and a track record of lower class sizes and climbing achievement. At the School Boards Association Winter Conference in December, we learned that to lead is to live dangerously. The NSBA past president said that education mandates are continually added without the funding necessary. And one of the early examples is special education, where Congress has never funded even as much as 1/5 of the cost of these programs. Programs not provided in other countries, by the way. He lamented that funding issues today are almost insurmountable and went on to say that people who talk about education failing are not ever in classrooms of today's schools. He believes actually that our policy leaders are failing education far more than education is failing our communities. We were excited to have 5th graders from Quinton Elementary participating in the National Hour of Code just before winter break. This was a national effort to get 10 million students to spend an hour learning how to program computers during Computer Science Education Week. The goal was to inspire more students to become computer science graduates. Also, just before break, Littleton Elementary School families shared in a special Kids at Hope event with lunch and a photo booth set up by the Firebird Junior Tech students, activities highlighted, time travel to students' future destinations in hobbies and recreation. There are about 200 other caring adults visiting, so it was a great success. We had many compliments on our great treasure hunters at Littleton, including from the mayor and the vice mayor of Avondale. Our latest version of Fast Facts highlights Tara Singh, teacher gifted students at Quinton School. Tara and her students have enlisted the school and community in receiving support and donations for their school garden club from local farmers, AmeriCorps volunteers, and even Home Depot to get the garden started. And they received a grant of $1,000 from Subway's Healthy and Fit Kids to help. She has no problem sharing standards the students are applying that include measurement, observation, writing, lab manuals, even writing persuasive pieces to help asking for help from the community and for parents. It's a great example of leaders in learning, caring, and growing, literally growing. In sports, flag football and volleyball finished off the 2013 season with a flurry of excitement. The Estrella Vista Hawks dominated throughout the season and continued that into the playoffs. The Hawks defeated Quinton in the champion game to bring home their second championship in 3 years. Volleyball championship game was a matchup between two powerhouse teams throughout the season. The Quinton Lady Sharks brought their perfect record into the championship game versus the Collier Lady Coyotes. The game came down to an overtime match where Collier Lady Coyotes prevailed to bring home their second girls championship this year. Boys and girls soccer start this week, and all those games will be played at Friendship Park. In closing, I'd like to express special thanks to Alexis Christensen and Keith Garrison for funds to support technology training. And that's all I have this evening.